To the January 20th meeting of the Citizens Communications Council. And if it's okay with everybody here, two of my grandchildren are at the house, and I'd like to say hello to Lily and Colin, and be good to your grandmother. Okay. First thing on the agenda is the report of Radnor Studio 21, and I see out there among the millions, George Strimmel, General Manager of Radnor Studio 21.
Say something to my grandchildren too, but they're not watching because they're not in the area. That's the only reason. Anyway, here we are in a new year, and a good year indeed. It's kept very, very busy. We're turning out lots of programs. More and more people seem to want to get on Radnor Studio 21, and that's terrific. Of course, we took time to celebrate earlier the Martin Luther King birthday Monday. With a number of programs, and right through the new year and into Christmas, many new programs. And we remind everybody who is out there, your grandchildren included, that if they want to be on television, this is the place for people. That's what Radnor Studio 21 is all about. We have our new cameras, thanks to our friends at Comcast. They are up and running and doing very well indeed. Obviously, it's a little like all the things you do. Okay, now I have this, now I need a little something else, and that's what our equipment target is this year, to improve both lighting and audio and perhaps even switching. But we're quite happy to be up and running once more and feeling very good about it. The people who run Radnor Studio 21 for the most part are professionals. This is what we do for a living. It's what we have always done for a living and what we hope to continue to do. And we want to be as good as possible, and certainly when you go through the channels, we want to stand out and be of good service to the community. We do get a lot of anecdotal feedback from people throughout the year, and we appreciate that because there's no real way. Obviously, Nielsen isn't looking down upon us, and we are always interested in hearing from people, both pro and con. Most of the con is they don't watch us.
Okay.
Most of the pro is they do.
Okay, any questions for Radnor Studio 21? That's good. We don't have a litany of problems to go over tonight. Thank you very much, George.
The day is, it is a good year, a new year, and a good beginning.
Very good. Thank you. I'd like to welcome Kate Gets-Freed, our old friend from Comcast. And whenever they're mad at her, they send her to these meetings. Is that right? Is this punishment or what?
I'm happy to be here. You know that. But once again, George covered part of my report, and that is that the camera has been delivered and installed. That was at the end of December. And I do have, again, some news that you're not going to be pleased with, and that's about the DTAs, the digital to analog converters. I did check to see if they can be purchased. They cannot. They can only be rented. As you know, we will provide 3 complimentary DTA boxes to each school. I know that the concern is, obviously you'd like more, 1 for each classroom. I did meet with Joan, I guess that was last week, just to try to discuss how exactly Radnor Township School District is utilizing cable in the classroom and what we can do to sort of solve this issue. Again, I know that you won't be pleased with the answer about not being able to purchase, but I'm looking into some other alternatives. One would be with a fiber ring. So I actually sent an email to Joan earlier today asking if the district has a fiber ring. I'll correspond with her, and then hopefully I'll provide a better update at next month's meeting.
Okay. Does anybody know what a fiber ring is?
No. What is that, and how does that work?
I have to admit, I'm not really sure. I'm kind of learning. I received word a couple of days ago that the boxes can't be purchased. So my next step was to look for some alternatives. Apparently, this is something that Downingtown School District is looking into. Therefore, I think that a fiber ring might be a regular course of action for school districts. But I'll do a little research, as I always do, and I'll get back to you.
Okay, we appreciate that.
Certainly.
And
Can I just ask
yes,
a
please.
question? What is the rationale for not allowing the boxes to be purchased?
All of our digital boxes, well, actually, none of our digital boxes can be purchased. The DTA is considered a digital box. Therefore, we need to issue the equipment. That's why they can't be purchased.
The reason,
It's an internal company policy.
Yes.
Okay. So if the company policy was different, then they could be purchased. But it's restricted only by company policy and not by any other factor.
Well, I believe that that's because we have to be able to provide updates to the boxes. Therefore, they have to be our boxes. Something like this cannot be purchased at a Best Buy or store or a big box store. It's something that we do have to issue and maintain. So essentially, it is company policy, but there are updates to the box and so on.
But it's company policy.
Yes.
Okay.
if I may editorialize, the probability is that the reason they rent them rather than sell them is profitability. If you could buy one of these for, I don't know what amount, if you can rent them monthly for X amount times 12, do the math. And if I was in charge of Comcast, I'd probably do the same thing.
Well, and with most of the digital boxes, the digital boxes that many people are now familiar with, that sort of has all of the extra bells and whistles, the on-demand features, the guide, etc. The DTAs are a little more bare bones, again, without the bells and whistles, but just really converting that signal from digital to analog for any customers that need it.
This is not the time or place to go into a detailed discussion of it, but my recollection of the franchise agreement was that there is an obligation on Comcast's part to keep the technology updated as you go along. So this switch in technology has, I think, in effect, diminished the service which was otherwise provided to the school system. And
Well-
that's a concern, and I don't know quite how we handle it.
Well, and with the franchise agreement, we do offer one complimentary drop per school. And obviously, as technology changed over the years, if we go back to the 80s, a box was required to receive the signals. That's why there was one drop per school. Then, when a box was no longer needed, that's why all of many classrooms were able to receive service. Now, I think there's probably an ebb and a flow in the technology, but now a box will be required.
But in most cases, you're improving the service by incremental technology. I think his argument is that you're deteriorating the service by increasing technology and charging for it.
I think that overall, we're increasing
Yeah.
we're doing what is best for most of our customer base. Schools at this point.
I told you
seem
didn't want to be here. I told you.
Well, looking at the big picture, we're trying to improve it for most. I'll leave it at that.
No, we understand, and there'll be time and place for discussion, but you were right in your assumption that this would be news that we would not be happy with. And so if you want confirmation of our unhappiness, you can bring that back to your, to your people.
At the same time, we do appreciate you taking it up with them and getting back to us with a response, Kate.
Certainly, and like I said, I'll talk with Joan offline about, well, obviously because she's not here, but I will talk with Joan over the next few weeks just
Okay.
That'll be great, because
Great.
maybe you can work out a different solution to this very difficult problem.
and hopefully I will really learn what a fiber ring is.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
Thanks, I think we're okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you again for coming. Report from Verizon.
Good evening, everyone. The report for Verizon this month is, I would like to report that we have actually 3 new plans for our residential customers. As of January 17th, we've rolled out these new plans. I sent notice to the Township. I'm not sure if you guys had received it as well.
Is that email that has 80,000 people on it as a mailing list?
That is, yes, that is my Township email address, or email
Should have a
distribution.
contest if anybody reads any of that stuff.
I do believe I send out paper copies as well to?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so to go over these, the new plans for our business product and also our new residential plans, no customers that are currently on other plans are going to be affected. This is strictly moving forward from January 17th on. The new plans are called the Fios TV Prime HD, Fios TV Extreme HD, and Fios TV Ultimate HD. And you'll see in the monthly rates are associated with that on the email that I had sent out to the township. So,
So these are really enhanced products.
yes, this is just our moving forward enhanced plans that we offer to our customers. Basically, the Prime is more the lower tier, the Extreme is the middle tier, and the Ultimate is our
At
high tier.
different price points, presumably.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Any questions for Verizon?
There was in the various notices that you sent out, there was a notice of a channel change?
Yes.
Or a channel drop?
A channel removal. I just sent that one out on Monday, I believe. And it was the Ion Worship channel. The provider has discontinued, so
Okay.
it was out of Verizon's control
All right.
to be able to.
So you had a stoppage of service, actually, or of programming by that provider?
By that provider, yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And if you have no more questions about that, John Riley at last meeting had brought up a couple of questions in regards to the Fios internet service, which I had done some research on and just wanted to provide a little update. His questions before were, was there an issue with the new Windows 7
Right.
software coming out and our Fios internet service? And there should be no issues with that from our program managers. And also he asked about the free Wi-Fi offer that we have now for new customers that sign up. They also can get the hotspots that Verizon offers. And he asked in regards to the Windows 7 if there was any issue. Again, the answer was no. But he also asked if Mac computers are able to access the Wi-Fi. And the answer to that question is no, they cannot at this time.
Do you have John's email address?
I do not, but I can if.
Would you mind emailing him a direct response? Because I think those things had some
Personal, yeah,
personal
in regards to that. So yeah, I'll get his email address and.
Or
send that.
in this regard, are you locked out of providing service for all Mac products?
No, all the Mac products are able to access the Fios internet, but just not the Wi-Fi, the free Wi-Fi that we offer at this time. I know our program managers are looking into being able to provide it. I think it's a software issue, but they could not provide me a timeline on when that would be able to be done.
But
once-
otherwise, the Mac products can
yeah,
access.
if you purchase the Fios internet and you have a Mac computer, you can access. You just would not be able to access the hotspots across the country that Verizon offers.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to write down John's email address and give it to you.
Please do. Thank you.
But before we do that, we can go to old business. Is the status of the communications ordinance? My understanding is that that has been referred to the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission is in agreement with the changes that were made. It's been reviewed by the town solicitor and will be submitted to the commissioners. Does anybody know anything to the contrary of that? Okay, well, I believe that's what's being done, and it'll be good to get that finally completed. Steve's not here. I'm assuming that we've had no additional submissions from any wireless providers. Jim, do you know anything about that? No. We have none, so there's nothing we need to act on, and once the ordinance is put in place, that'll be the guideline for our interfacing with the wireless companies and hopefully streamlining the process of those requests through the township. That's old business. Is there any new business?
I move we adjourn.
No public participation. Wait a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No public participation. I ask for a motion to adjourn.
I so move, sir.
Second, all in favor. Thank you very much for coming. Appreciate your, coming out to what I'm sure is an arduous task on your part, but we do appreciate it.